Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. Right, shalom, family. Shalom. Shalom, family. Can we be heard now? Is that okay? Can we hear now? Are we hearing now? Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. Greetings of life to all of you. Can we hear each other now? Be heard now? Right. Shalom, shalom, family. Shalom. Let's see if the camera works now. Okay, some second. There's a video capture. Right, 7:20. Right, there you go. Right, shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. Sorry about the quick setup there. They say things gotta be done one by one. Just to make sure it's all working properly. So give me a second. Where am I here? Right. Alright. Shalom to all of you. Shalom to all of you, family. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Oh, there we go. Great. Okay. Right. Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. I hope this is going out live and nice and clear. Let me just get to you now. Switch on this other piece of equipment. Right. Right. Where's my drink then? Right. Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Hope you're all alright. Sorry about the quick setup I had to do. Right, let me just put myself next to Prime Minister right there. That's great. Shalom, family. How are you all? How are you all, family? Yep. Sorry we're coming this late. Just things you got to do and all that, isn't it? You know. So I hope you're all alright. And life to you. Life to all of you. We did have a session yesterday. So if you missed it, then at least we got today to congregate together again a little bit, you know. So shalom to all of you. Shalom of Iye, Asher Iye to all of you. Shalom of life, peace of life to all of you family tuning in from all four corners of the world. I greet you in the name of Iye, Asher Iye. And hope all your families are alright. Right. And all of you in places where there's trouble going on in the world and all that kind of stuff, yeah, even more peace to you. So yeah, shalom to all of you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Hope you're alright. There's a few things we wanted to get into like today. But yeah, what do we do? Just wanna try and get as many people in, then we can like kick off properly. So yeah, in the meantime, try and greet one another, family. If you see people you know already in the chat, yeah, try and shout out a shalom and a peace to them. Salam alaikum at the same time. Yeah, peace to all of you. Greetings of peace to all of you, family, wherever we are right now. That's all over the earth, four corners of the earth. All the children of Israel and all the friends of the children of Israel, you're welcome. Hope you're all alright. Some of you who was on the chat yesterday or even till early this morning, hope you all recovered your strength as well. And I know somebody was trying to send me some like breaking news yesterday. So we completely just missed going there because we like so busy with stuff. But hey, um, it was like wow. So they kicked off the football game in Syria right now, called the World Cup. You all know that one, the World Cup. Weapons of mass destruction and all that kind of narrative. It seems to come around every couple of years or something, like what, 7, 8, 9, 10 years or something. It comes around again. It's a cycle. And they make all these weapons. Obviously, they have to sell them somewhere. When you sell weapons, you got to use them somehow. That's how we get our food, isn't it? That's how we eat. That's how we eat in the West. So, hey, and wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not perturbed. See that you be not disturbed, because all these things shall happen, but the end has not yet come. That's what the book says somewhere. So yeah, we just want to have a look at that, and in full view of we talking about our own selves, our own security, our own peace, our own salvation. We can see how the world is quickly descending into madness. It's descending into serious mad chaos, and we, as they say, the good people of the earth, we're tired of protesting, aren't we? We're just like, hey, what's next? Because we're just looking at this whole ball game. It's like, oh boy, it looks like a movie. Well, it is a movie at the end of the day. And the whole thing is just being choreographed from Hollywood. And all the figures you see in there are nothing more than, paid actors anyway. At the best or at the worst. Some of them play the role like so willingly and happily. Some like they yearn for that spotlight, to be in the spotlight again, either militarily or politically. So yeah, they go for it. The war's going on, children are dying, people are being maimed, whole civilization's being destroyed. But who gives a hoot about that? It's all in line with business, isn't it? Human souls and bones and blood and tears and sweat and labor and all of that's just going to waste, family. It's like, hey, who's gonna stop this thing? Who's gonna stop this thing? Yeah, who's gonna stop this thing? We might have a few scriptures to read in. So yeah, shalom to all of you, family. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I myself, I just got real tired when I saw the thing just before I went to bed early this morning. I saw the thing kick off. It was like, what? Is this a joke or something? But yeah, they've actually started their business again in the country of Syria and that whole area of the world right now, Middle East, Levant. Yeah, they've started their wars there again. Obviously, there's some big powers involved, as always has been. And we can talk all we want, but we're still never going to be an expert on the subject. We're just giving commentary as well as everybody else is. But we reach a stage where it's getting really like Armageddon type, doomsday scenario, because from the last war in Iraq to this time right now, obviously you can see the leap that there's been in technological advancements, and all the affiliated links to that technological advancement, weapons of mass destruction and all them kind of military gear and all stuff like that. So yeah, it's getting more advanced. The game is gonna go online, even, internet wars, cyber wars, hacking and de-hacking, and besides the hacking of people to death, there's people hacking into people's computers as well, and might just shut down everything the way they're going, and shut down the world with EMP and TNT and and all the H2O bombs and all that. Yeah, so things are kicking off, family. Things are kicking off. It's the sort of time I would love to be in Africa, just finding myself in somewhere in a nice little garden, planting my own food, and just like, boy, what are we doing? What's going on the earth? It gets more real every single day. It's more real every single day. There's been some kind of like a transition of relative peace, but everybody's always known that this relative peace is just the interlude, the build up, the warm up, the tunnel warm up, for the players to come back out in full strength. So one man who's lasted for some time is obviously Uncle Vladimir Putin, and he's up there, and he's probably seen like three different wars as a premier of a country right there. So he would probably be in the best position to give account or give a commentary. I'd wish anyone would send out a link to him. Please, Uncle Putin, with all due respect, I'd love to hear your view, because your view is one of the views we don't normally hear on this side of the world. We'd just like to hear what your view is, because it's weapons of mass destruction and chemical weapons used on your own people, i.e., them alleging on Bashar al-Assad that he did use some chemical weapons on his own family and all that, and mass executions. We can't rule out anything on the face of the earth. As the book says, the earth is really in trouble, given into the hands of the wicked, right? But same time, it'd be nice for us to be able to verify some things, so we know what the world is coming to as the world goes. But obviously, the powers that be have decided that ain't no need for no verification. We're going to war. Anyone who don't like it can just, lay back and watch it on a widescreen TV. And that's what the world is doing right now. Is there going to be a protest in the country because of this kind of things again? Does it not, isn't it reminiscent of like all the disasters we've been seeing the world get itself into step by step every single couple of years, whereby we hear the same narratives. There's always some chemicals being used, and after the chemicals, the players come out and say, we should not see that again. That's not that, we can't accept that in this modern age, humanity, blah blah blah. And okay, we're going to go rush in through quickly right now, and the whole end game is, on the one level, supposedly to rescue people who are suffering, who are dying, and all that. And I'm like, yeah, that's a worthy thing, for all those you brothers and sisters out there who really love life, who like to care for people's lives. Yeah, it's a worthy thing. It's a human thing to do. Well, what's bothersome is what's concerning is like, how are we gonna keep peace with so much weaponry? How are we gonna secure peace with so much mega destructive weapons on the face of the earth? How are we gonna keep any peace, family? How are we gonna keep any peace, family? So if you got your Twitter, send a tweet out to our Prime Minister, Theresa May, Uncle Vladimir Putin, and Uncle Bashar al-Assad, and Uncle Trump. Send out your tweeters to them right now and say Uncle Ty is saying, can they grace this panel? Can they just grace this panel with their honor? Can they honor this panel with their grace? Whatever. Can they just come on the panel and give us the real lowdown right here and tell us how humanity is supposed to survive? Because, it's looking tough. It's looking tough. I saw the kind of graph that they built up, and it was so funny because when you're hearing news, you're hearing words. Words have a different meaning to pictures. That's why I managed to rustle up this little picture on the screen right there. Because, I said, okay, just put something in there, Anyway, so, yeah, when you see them speaking, the Russian ambassador to the United Nations talking, saying, yeah, this rushing into war by the allies and of the United States, France, Germany, England, and all the normal boys anyway. So they rushed in. They didn't even wait for the United Nations vote to go in there, as they should have. I mean, they're the ones who said, yeah, Bashar al-Assad is using chemical weapons against his own people, blah, blah, blah. Crimes against humanity, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if that's the case, fine. But wait for the United Nations. I mean, what's the point of the United Nations family, United Nations Security Council? What's the point of it if we will not listen to their judgment? I'm thinking, let's scrap the United Nations. Yeah, scrap the United Nations. Scrap the United Nations. Scrap it. Security Council, scrap it. Yes, scrap it. We don't need it anymore. Why do we need United Nations Security Council if the powers won't listen to it? What's the point? Yeah, what's the point? What's the point? It's like having a court in England, and even the judges say, I'm not listening to this. I'm not listening to this. Members of parliament say, with courts pass the judgment, court holds the court of law, but we're not listening. So just scrap the whole thing. Scrap it. Scrap it. Say scrap it, family. Scrap it. Right. So yeah, I was so drained of energy when I saw that going on, because for me, it just keeps bringing back time and again how surely things are moving in the direction of total earthly doom, I mean, because there's weapons out there. Never mind people's intentions. And we're talking about world leaders and their intentions. Some of these world leaders, they got no better games to play than play with people's lives, to play with humanity's life, to play with the whole earth life, life on earth. They just want to mess it all up so bad that there'd be nothing standing when they're done. Yeah, we can say that's in line with our biblical scripture, because it's a thing since Adam. Death is since Adam. So we it has to go the full cycle. And the players that are involved in this full cycle, they're probably only doing their jobs. Excuse me. They're probably just only doing their jobs, family. I don't see it any more than that, really. They're just doing their jobs. So one more has to give them some credit for just doing their business, doing their job. Prophecy is coming to the fore. Humanity has to start running for cover. Obviously, everything they've got planned out is nothing new. It's just the revelation. It can catch us by surprise and make us feel really despairing sometimes. And that's what's going on right now, family. So we feel sorry. Is that the word? We feel sorry, or we feel pain for the people who are being caught in this initial gameplay in Syria. The children of Syria, the mothers, the fathers, or the old and the weak, and so on and so forth, who are getting caught up in this inside this gameplay. Like the gameplay has been going on in the nation of Palestine, Israel, Gaza, all these places that to us just look like a movie. Only those who are in there can tell that, boy, this is not a movie. Sometimes you actually think, how do people over there survive? How do they survive this onslaught of war after war after war after war after conflict after it's just like unending. So we have a situation where the whole family on the earth has become immune to these disasters right now. Whole family on the earth has become immune to these disasters, and the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So, where does that leave us, family? Where does that leave us, family? So, shalom to all of you, family. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to this congregation of family. Let's roll out some greetings at the moment. Candy, shalom. Whitney, shalom. Israelite Jew, shalom. Matt, shalom to you. Louis Valentine, shalom, shalom. Sam Israel, shalom. GSH, shalom, shalom. Brian, shalom. We got Melanin Rich Nagas, shalom, shalom. Zawa Atlas, shalom. Tips 44, shalom, shalom. Shaka, shalom to you, shalom. Dayan Banyas, shalom, shalom, shalom from Denmark, shalom to you and your families. I give our greetings of life to all over there. Candy Prudent, shalom, shalom to you, shalom to you. Where we at right now? Shetuki Asuf, shalom to you, shalom families. How are all of you? Where we again? Yeah. Young Puddy, shalom, shalom, shalom. Rogue Jester, shalom. Yeah, let's greet up all the family. Louis Valentin, shalom, shalom. Yeah, Antichrist may be in the stage. Wow. Okay. Young Puddy, yeah. Shetuki, yeah. Let's see. Shalom to you. Most High, yeah. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Pipeline through Syria to access Europe. Oh, well, yeah. Cool. Shekaniah ben Israel, shalom to you, shalom to you, shalom to you. Whitney, shalom. Akhelem, shalom, shalom. How are you? How's all your families? Shalom to you, wherever we are right now. Your brother, shalom to you, shalom to you. King Devon, shalom to you, shalom, shalom. Yeah, we're in the house. Families are in the house, absolutely. Tez Wharton, shalom, shalom to you, shalom to you. Greetings to your family, greetings to all of you. Zeko Koko, shalom. The boss, shalom, shalom, shalom. Yeah, the boss at Hit Hebrew Israelite Truth. Word at Speaker's Corner is that you're a Hamite posting as a Shemite. I don't know who is that message. Oh yeah, message is to me, isn't it? Yeah, the boss. Well, we always ask people who got them views to come forward and say what they want to say, but unfortunately, they just can't come forward. I find that irritating. They just keep running. So if you know their numbers, their tweets, their FBs, their YTs, or their tweets, or their anything, invite them on the panel. The boss, the boss. Invite them on the panel. Yeah, thanks for relaying that message. Anyway, so yeah, and if it's you who maybe you gonna speak for them, don't forget this panel's always open. Okay. So shalom to you, the boss, all that said. Muhammad Akbar, shalom to you. Hope all your families are all right. Betty's Closet, shalom to you. How are you? How's family? How's everybody around you? I think just move so quick down. Where are we? Leah Yisrael, shalom to you. Shalom family. How's all your families? Green Salt, shalom to you. How's all your families? Israelite Jew, how are you? Shalom family, how are you? Had to put on my other social media. Yeah, absolutely, Israel. I had to put Uncle Ty all over my other social medias. Got to get EA out there. Absolutely. In this time of death, we need to put life out there. Absolutely, Israel. Like in this time of rampant, careless death. Death is everywhere. Our leaders are into it. Our judges are into it. Our monetary system is into it. Our health system is into it. Our food system is into it. Water come on. The whole society is into death right now. So we got to put some life out there. Absolutely, Israelite Jew. Absolutely. Put some life out there, family. Stefano, brother, how are you? Shalom, shalom to all your families out there. Hope you're all right. Pharaoh Moon, shalom to you, shalom to you. How's all your families? Tez Wharton says, I be digging me my bunker. Wow. Give me the address, bro. Give me the address. Let's know where it's at. Okay. So we need to get in there. Family, we need to get in a bunker. I hope you're planting some vegetables and rearing some animals as well in there. You're going to need it. And a nice water supply. Hey. And make sure you got some sunshine in there as well. Yeah. These things are important, Tez. Absolutely. Yeah, so who else we got here? Yeah, things moving quick. Things moving fast. Let's see where we things moving quick. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to scroll down on this thing, so do forgive me. I'm trying to read out shalom and peace to all of you, family. Green Salt, absolutely shalom to you. Marvin, drum right, shalom family. How are you? How's all your family? Your brother says Satan is a metaphor for ego. Nothing more. Okay. Men and women are doing this out of greed. Okay. Nothing supernatural about it. Big business. All right. So I think your brother just basically states that beyond the flesh physical, there's nothing else beyond that. Am I correctly quoting or translating your words right there, your brother? Okay. He says prophecy is plans. We would love to hear that kind of thing on the panel. So yeah, if you got views you want to talk about that, it'd be nice to examine it. Yeah. Jan X, shalom to you. How's all families? Yeah, hope all your families are all right. Life to you. Akhelam, oh yeah, don't make the mistake of thinking all Africans are Hamites. Yeah, most people don't even know what a Hamite is. They're just talking, basically, They're just basically talking, talk. People can talk. They're stuck with dogmatic versions of truth or something, So, but when people start to dig into some kind of detailed understanding, people just go quiet then, So until we see people actually out there, don't forget, family, that since people been talking about Hamites, Israelites, Japhites, and so on and so, nobody really wants to come to the debate table. They just, people just talking wherever they are. They're talking or they're preaching. Nobody really wants to come to really talk about it with somebody else, like properly. You get me? They just talk from a distance, type from a distance, stuff like that. They never really like to come properly and talk. So anyone who says we're Hamites, whatever, come forward. If it's Sheikh Danjuma, he's an elder at the end of the day, but at the same time, Sheikh Danjuma, if you're hearing or getting this message, you seriously have, because you're one of the elders who've given the family this kind of boisterous attitude in their minds, bolstering, I should say, the agenda of the leaders of this world, who just seek to delineate the name of Israel off the face of the earth, and they don't really want to face the idea or the fact that the real nation of Israel are black people, majority of them still in Africa today. So they will do anything to destroy that lineage, as the book says. Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, so that the name of Israel be in existence no more. It's just clean and clear. So it's coming from all directions. That's why when we're out there, we take questions. When we're out there, we carry books. When we out there, we explain. When we out there, we listen. When we out there, we wait. We're patient. We want to hear what they got to say. But they don't seem to last besides just like shouting off and running off. That's it. Shout off and run off. Yeah, that's what they do. So we waiting for somebody who can actually come and prove something to us, and then we can ask them questions. That's only fair, family. That's fair. I think that's fair. So bring it on. If you know somebody out there, you got their Twitter, got their Facebook, got their YouTube, who keeps saying these things. Because look, if you keep listening to these people who will not even take your invite, they won't take your invite to come on a panel like here, to come and prove or say what they're saying behind a computer keyboard. You got to call them cowards. You just got to call them cowards. Come on, you got to call them cowards. So your brother Ty is always like, I wish I could be out there on the streets like I would love to, because the streets is the biggest impact when you're trying to reach people for real. People can see you for real, talk to you for real in real time. I can hear what they're saying. They can hear what I'm saying in real time, real time. I can hear their anger, hear their concerns, hear their lies, hear their truths. You can hear their emotions, everything. So we were out there. They couldn't come and do it. Now they're behind keyboards talking yap. And it starts with the so-called Hebrew Israelites. They started that madness. They don't even know what a Hamite is. I mean, can you imagine that stuff? They don't even know what a Hamite is. They do not know what a Hamite is. So it's a case of the blind teaching the blind. And both of them going to fall in a ditch. Both of them fall in a ditch. That's it. The blind teaching the blind. And unfortunately, right now, the students of the blind who fell in the ditch dug themselves out of the ditch and start teaching too. That's madness. And now they're the teaching. They're just, like one of the, popular commentators said. He says people have become repeaters. People are just repeaters. They're just repeating information. They're not checking it. They couldn't even check it. Is another side. They couldn't even check the information. They can't check it. Most of them don't want to put in the work. Haven't put in the work, don't know the work, but it's fashionable. It's a fad now to keep repeating bite chunks of words or what fashionable words, that sound cliches, that sound like yeah. We know what this thing is about, but most of them now have no idea what they're talking about. No idea. Right. Let's see where we was. So yeah, we greeting down the greets. We greeting peace to all of you family. We don't go against people personally. We're going against the information. It's just sad when the person is now the carrier of that information. What do? It looks like you're going against, but no. We're not going against the person. We're going against the information. But the person is responsible for ferrying that information around. So they come on the front line for this war of information. So don't get upset, family, if it seems like, brother Ty. No, it's nothing to do with that. We don't know each other. Why are we going at each other? But how else do we go against information? How else do we do it? Because we're not going to sit down and write essays right here, are we? We're not going to sit down and do that. We're not going to compose some poetry right now to prove anything. We have to see face to face, talk, voice to voice, eye to eye, mind to mind. That's why we got these things. We got them, so we must use them. So there you go again. Your brother says, no, I'm from an atheist. Not everything is an accident. Okay, I believe in creation and the weak mind of man. Yeah, your brother, it'd be nice to hear your views. It would be really nice to hear your views. Hit me up if you think we need to hear your views. We haven't had an atheist. We haven't had an atheist on a panel. In fact, almost never in this last year or two, do we have any atheists coming up to Israelites and trying to prove a point? I know there was one or two brothers down there, and I actually upset one or two brothers and their family of atheists. They were a group of black atheists who was trying to set up shop in Speaker's Corner. Like I can't even remember, was it a couple of years ago now? Yeah, and I came down and yeah, and I went straight to them because I thought, wow, I didn't know that there's some black atheists. I'm like, black atheists? You must be out of your mind. You're African and you're atheist. What's wrong with your mind? What's wrong with your mind? Where's that coming from? You're the first man. There's nothing called atheism. I mean, in terms of, reality, you're free to choose, but so am I. So I've come to ask questions. And the brothers just didn't like the questions anymore. And they were trying to kick me out of the Speaker's Corner. I'm like, black atheists? It's like black atheists, matter something. Black atheists matter. I'm like, black atheists? There's black of everything nowadays. The only thing there isn't is a black nation. There's a black of every other type of madness. But where's the black nation? I'm like, we're splintering. Every single day we keep splintering into more and more and more tiny breakaway groups. And we just never seem to recollect ourselves. And here we go again, black atheists. And when I question the black atheists, all this information is coming from the white atheist masters. I'm like, boy, this is something else. And anyway, they come too late anyway, because when we used to be Christians, we used to debate a lot with atheists. We used to debate quite a lot with them, and then they took a little rest, and we took a little rest. And now that we understand who we are as Israelites, now they're coming back to say, well, we can have atheists and we can be black. I'm like, okay, explain your position, and let's do it properly. Then they don't want to talk. So I'm like, oh, this is so upset. This is so annoying, so irritating, family. So look, yeah, black atheists. So if you're an atheist, brother, yeah, please come on the show. Let's hear your views. If you don't really want to go too deep into, let's hear your views. Let's see what the problem is. Because I always say, we will use people's problems to get back to them. We're going to use their problems to heal them, because we're all victims on the face of this earth, in this prison called earth that we're in right now. All the teachers on the face of the earth, they don't want us to know truth, but there's stuff we're going to be showing each other that's going to tell you that you bought a lie. You bought a lie. You may not know, but you bought a lie. So, come on the panel if you can, and let's hear what you got to say. Yeah. We're not trying to make anyone look bad no, that's not the point. Don't forget, it's about the information. Yeah, like I said, fortunately or unfortunately, the information is trapped within a man or a woman. So what we gonna do? So that's what it's about. And deep, shalom to you, family. How are you? How's all your family? Nino Brown, shalom to you. How's all your family? Let's see, who have we missed out right there? Yeah, Jean, you said, I don't believe I'm a Hamite, but I've never been DNA tested. Should I trust DNA tests? I would say no. Don't trust DNA tests. They're bogus. DNA tests are bogus. Sorry, DNA shops. I don't mean to harm your business. There might be some usefulness to your business, but trying to prove somebody is a something. They won't come on this panel. They can't come on this panel. And I'm not even an expert, but they can't come on this panel. So if you got their links, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, if you got their links, invite them on this panel. Invite them. Click them now. Call them up. If you know somebody who believes in that rubbish, I know one of our brothers who did who did the DNA test. I know brother AR, yeah, AR23. I know he did the DNA test, or what is it, yeah. So I know that. I'd love to hear his views. I'd love to hear his views. I know he likes to gather that kind of information and then process it and see what's in there. So I like that. But honestly speaking, do you really think that's truth in there? There might be some shred of truth. That's nothing wrong with shred of truth. Truth shreds. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. So I'm not saying the whole science involved in the DNA sequences is not useful. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when they're now trying to say they can use that to tell you that you're a Hamite, error. So let's go here. Right. Yeah, your brother. Look, I would love to hear your views. If you got views at this time and you can't speak about them, it just tells you that you're not ready to talk about it. So what you should do is just ask questions to learn. But if you think you're already set, you're strong, you're set like a brick wall with this information, then you need to come forward, because your people need to hear it. Your people need to hear it. They definitely need to hear it. Betty Closet. Yeah. Shalom to you. Shalom, all your family. Rogue Jester. Shalom to you. Yeah. Christendom is going to blow up the world for a Muslim country. Wow. Can you hear yourselves? Well, okay. I'm trying to understand half of that comment there. So, yeah. Let us know. Excuse me. Tez Wharton says there's going to be a very big queue at the heavens courts, i.e. at the heavenly courts, where people are gonna face judgment in the last days, yeah, and the day of judgment, as it's called, yeah. Obviously, it's gonna be a serious queue. Yeah, there's gonna be a queue. Absolutely. Even the lawyers and the judges will be in the same queue. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Lawyers and judges will be in the same queue, wondering what's going on. They're going to be in the same queue. Like the meek shall inherit the earth. The children of Israel, the true children of Israel, will then be coming forth to judge angels and all these people who have been judges on the earth, especially those who have had no mercy. They'll be having a hard time. It's going to be so funny when different types of books are opened up. The books is called the books of your work. The books of your work. Not the books of your education or your money or your power or influence. It's going to be called the book of your works. It's just going to be there, like, amazing. It's going to be in HD quality like you've never seen before. All them hidden things that man has done. It's just going to be like that they forgot. That man forgot that he did. It's just going to be like there. They'll be like, whoa. I didn't actually remember that. Them kind of courts where they ask people questions and the people go like, I don't remember. You can take a fifth on that. I don't remember. Can my lawyer answer? I don't remember. Don't worry about that. Up in the heavenly courts, you won't even need to remember anything. Just watch the TV screen. Yeah? Watch the TV screen. It'll be live. Yeah, World War 3. Yeah, we're coming in there, Shekinah. We're coming in there. Just getting the family in, we go on for a little while, just caressing the issues surrounding all these things, because it's all part of the whole thing, isn't it? So yeah, right, okay, your brother, you say God sent the only true book in your heart and conscience. You know right from wrong, how many wings you need to pull off birds. Okay, all right. So yeah, let's see who we got in here. Have we greeted everyone? and let's see if we can dive into this. Tony Estrada, shalom, shalom. JJ Olagoke, shalom, shalom, shadani. Ogun àgbáyé kẹta ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ àwa mọ̀ tí ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí. So some of you listen know Hebrew. Shalom to you. Yeah, we had Black Atheists. Muhammad Akbar, shalom to you. Your brother Shekinah Ben Israel. Hope all your families are all right. Nino Brown, shalom to you. Humanity is the key to unity and community. Okay, I like the rhyme. We're gonna have to take that to United Nations and let them deal with that. Humanity is key to unity and community. Wow, beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. So any one of you who knows these sort of people talking about these things, please invite them on our panel. Invite them to come share their views, to enlighten us if they can, and edify the house if they can. You know, it's important. So yeah, let's see who else is there. Zeko Koko, yeah, shalom to you. So Suf Kalina, shalom to you, shalom to all your families. Yeah, we're greeting the families in the house today. Sometimes we miss doing it, because we got so much on our table. So yeah, well, that's it. There we go. Shalom. So yeah, we were saying, just after the early morning chat that we had, Shabbat Friday evening till the Shabbat morning Saturday UK time, you know, I know somebody sent us a link saying there's been a huge explosion in somewhere in Syria or something, you know. Okay, so I just saw the chat but couldn't focus on it much. But then yeah, but before I went to bed, I then, you know, just went on the excuse me, I went on the news, and yeah, there it was. Looked like World War 3 had kicked off already. I'm like, wow, what's this? So I, you know, just took a little interest and listened to some of the news and try to find out what's going on. And obviously it's still based around the narrative going on in Syria, which, you know, all these things are just, they're ongoing. So unless you're into them kind of, you know, war game scenarios, you just lose interest after a little while, because you got other things to do. But once in a while, more information builds up. So in the past couple of weeks, we saw how Russia was being blamed for the deaths and the damage to persons of Russian background in the UK. Those conditions and incidents were being blamed on Russia and Uncle Putin over there. So we can't get into who's right, who's wrong about that. But the whole point is, at a particular point again, then they said there was some chemical weapons traces that were found that was already doing some havoc in some part of Britain. And what's that city called again? And they put that down to a likelihood that, you know, it may have been the Russians involved in it to make that happen. Anyway, all fingers were pointed immediately by Boris Johnson and some other politicians, maybe even without much of investigation, but maybe they got their own determining factors to immediately find out what is that happened. So yeah, but fingers were pointed at Russia and Vladimir Putin, and only a couple of weeks later, we seen in the news in Syria that Bashar al-Assad had also used similar weapons on his own people. And they showed us all these images of children and mothers and their dads and, you know, gasping for air and all of that kind of thing, which is a horrendous sight to behold, really. So with that narrative in mind, nations quickly got themselves together. The allies, the usual allies, got themselves together, and they got to go fight the big enemy. And for all we know, Syria, on the general playing field, hasn't actually been any type of warmongering nation, especially maybe trying to like go against the West. I'm not going to say I know too much about all the details that's going to exonerate them from the statement I made, but ain't nobody can really turn fingers and say, yeah, they're terrorists or they're disturbing world peace or this or that. And Bashar al-Assad himself was a person, I believe, who studied in England, went to some top prestigious institutions in England and got friend and family even in this country. So whichever way you turn it, it's hard to explain all this finger pointing that we should take serious. So suddenly there's an understanding that he's now using weapons of mass destruction on his own people, i.e. chemical weapons and all of that. And guess what? For at least a couple of years, Russia has been Syria's biggest ally to defend them. Obviously, they both have mutual economic relations that the West doesn't agree with. All right. So, with that said, the West understands that Syria, is a whole tangled web of what do you call it, of relationships going on in the Middle East towards the old Russian Soviet republics and all that. So I can't get into that because I won't do it any justice. However, just looking on the playing field, it's clear to see that the camps have been set up. The camps have been divided. Russia, Syria, Iraq, China, and some other nations have allied themselves, coming from the east, if you like, and countries of the west, including Israel, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and the top boys in the west, they've allied themselves on that line. So lines have been drawn, and that is just like the what do you call it now? That's just the criteria for starting a world war, really. The United Nations Security Council is caught in the middle, and but unfortunately, the people who control those institutions themselves are the same ones making the weapons. So there's going to be a conflict of interest in here. How is the United Nations, headed by the top five weapon producing countries of the world, still be the same top five leaders of that institution? What are we really looking at? What does it really matter? What does it really matter? Do we need United Nations? Do we need United Nations Security Council, NATO? Do we need these things? Why do we need it? Why can't these countries just fight anyway? Just fight. No need to go through the motions. Tyson, and just get in there and fight. Why are you bothering going through the motions? What's the point? If there ain't gonna be any kind of like any kind of like, what's the word now? Boy, where's all the English words going? Where is it's going? No amelioration going on here. Like, ain't nobody's gonna be calling up any judgment right now. You got so many of these people in the United Nations saying, yeah, we're here to give justice on the earth so that we can prevent war and bring peace on the face of the earth. But at the same time, when it's about time to pronounce that justice, to bring peace, nobody listens to them. Nobody actually listens to them. So, we're like, what's the point? When it's time for the International Courts of Justice to bring black, brown, and East Europeans to justice, it's done swiftly. It's done really swiftly. You know, Charles Taylor, go up in there. Saddam Hussein, go up in there. Radovan Karadzic, go up in there. These people can be sent to their deaths when white European, Western European judges sit at the bar and just say, yeah, we're working on behalf of the United Nations and so on and so forth. And that's it. We're sending you to death. But when it comes to the time when a nation like the United States, England, France, and Germany, and the Western powers, when they break the same rules, break the same laws, they only need to say, well, they're breaking the law because somebody else broke the law. That's all they need to say. And they get away with it. So we're like, what's the point then? What's the point asking anyone? That's like political anarchy, Yeah, let's put that in there. Is that political anarchy? It's political anarchy, isn't it? Political anarchy. I think that's what we should call this word if it don't exist yet. And if I've even made any errors in choosing the words, I'm going to have to change it later. So yeah, we got political anarchy, Political anarchy, from my point of view, is explaining this wise, where nations, powerful nations, since like early 1900s, have been like vying to have a court that can reign supreme to promulgate world peace and prevent war and the acquisition of weapons of mass destruction and stuff like that, okay? So they've gone through all the motions, up to the 1940s, where they've now instituted the United Nations and all some other parastatals that they had anyway. They've put them all in place. But every time that they pass out a resolution concerning war, concerning conflict, concerning peace, it's always been the top 5 nations that can get away without having to adhere to those resolutions. It's always been them. And the point is, if they're going to be the only ones getting away with following the laws that they themselves laid down, that's telling us in the world that something is seriously wrong. It's like we don't even need to listen to the news anymore. What's the point? What's the point? So maybe this is part of your wake-up call, family. Your part of your wake-up call is to understand that, look, all these nations who are feeding us, who actually feed us, Israel, United States, the West, all these nations who are feeding us are also our biggest enemies. They're just saving us for dinner or something. That's it. That's all it is. Because they're not listening to the laws that they made down. So what am I talking about here? Russia is now complaining that, look, the West, i.e., France, US, and the Allies, didn't wait for United Nations resolution on the so-called discovery and usage of chemicals of war that so-called Bashar al-Assad was supposed to have used on his own people or on civilians, or the use of it at all. The use of it at all is even one other thing. So, but they're like, okay, let's have an independent investigation into this matter, and let the findings be published transparently. The findings haven't been published transparently before people went into war. And we're hearing from the United States spokespeople that, look, we don't even need to tell you what we found. We don't need to tell you what we found, but we found something. So we the people are like, okay, can you please make sure that what you're saying is true regarding Assad using chemical weapons on his own people? then you say, okay, yeah, of course, we're going to go in there and go and check it. So you've gone in there and checked it, and you said you found something, and then we say, what is it? Then you say, you can't tell us what you found. I'm like, hold on. This sounds like, sounds fishy to us here again. You found something, which we asked you to check. Then you came back to tell us you found something, but you aren't going to tell us what you found. But while we deal with that shock, you're off to war. You're off to war. And we can't hear both sides of the story equally. So it's a lopsided story. It's a lopsided excuse, a weak, a lame excuse to going into war again. It's, Israelite Jews said it's Iraq all over again. Absolutely. It's like that. And don't forget, they've had this map for the new Middle East. They've had that since the early 90s, under George Bush Sr. All the fancy names that we've forgotten now. But they had the map of the new Middle East that they wanted to draw. How they wanted to carve up the Middle East to prevent China or Russia from becoming a regional power, to weaken the balance of power. Because when there is an imbalance of power, injustice increases. Injustice increases. It's in line with biblical precepts. Injustices will increase. It will increase so that the Antichrist system can come forth. That's what this whole, hustling and bustling is all about. This pushing and shoving and pulling is all about. Because if they can control, if they can monopolize power in that Middle East region, which was already a setup anyway, it was already a setup and a divide, east and west. If that power can now be consolidated, brought back in line with the British mandate, then that makes it easy for the world Antichrist to come forth and claim that power, claim that control. How is it going to play out? I don't really know. All we know is it is playing out. All we know is it is playing out. How is it going to play out? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. let me get a scripture here. Excuse me. So, how's it gonna play out? I mean, when we say how's it gonna play out, it's not like we're saying we don't really know the outcome. The outcome is they want to destroy all life form. They want to destroy all life form on the face of the earth. That's what they want to do, right? But having said that, how's it gonna play out is like, what kind of things are gonna happen? In what sequence? Where? How? For how long? How much damage is gonna be done? These kind of things. That's what we mean when we say, how will it play out? How will it play out? I know you understand what we're saying, but I'm saying, how will it play out? Because how's this going to affect the world? Obviously, we know that when wars like this start to become imminent, the prices of things start to go up as well. Things start to get expensive. Travel starts to become restricted. Intra-conflict increases. Animosities increase. Xenophobia increases. All these kind of things. I was even saw a piece of news or a headline that was saying the Chinese people are being urged to boycott all American goods. Is anybody hear that one? The Chinese are being asked to boycott American goods and services. Did anybody hear that one? So I think it was at a point where I was already getting tired with the whole thing, and I saw that pop up. The Chinese are being encouraged to boycott American goods. If the Chinese are going to be boycotting American goods, you know that's war. You know that's definitely war. That's like war. Because anyone who remembers some history, the Americans are the ones who came to the Chinese initially in the 1800s and say, you got to do business with us. You must do business with us. If you do not do business with us, we're going to decimate your nation. Decimate your nation. So right now, China is in a position to say, do you remember that piece of history where you said, look, we got to do business with you if we like it or not? Well, we're in a position right now to say, we ain't going to do no business with you no more. Do what you want. Do your worst. We can stand with you in the ring, eye to eye, glove to glove, punch for punch. And we got allies. We got half of Africa who agrees with us. We got huge Russia who is safer being with us. We are safer being with them. And we got, regional powers who are like, yeah, we want to change and a rebalancing of global power. We want that. So, the balance is really being tipped in a new order, a new power structure. The BRIC nations, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Is that the BRIC? Oh, and South Africa. BRICS, yeah. The BRICS. Who knows the BRICS? You heard about this one, right? The BRICS, innit? Yeah. You all know the BRICS. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Those countries, they form a wall. In terms of trade, in terms of, it's all games at the end of the day, but still, if it's going to be games, it's got to go down like a real game, So, let me try and see. Yeah, let me read Revelation 13 and 4. Revelation 13 and 4, okay? So Revelation 13 and 4 goes on like this. It says, let me actually see if I want to take it. Yeah, let me see where I want to take it. Let's take it from Revelation 13 and 3. Yeah. So anyone got their scriptures there? Edify with some scripture right there. Revelation 13 and 3. Who can make war with the beast? Who can make war with the beast? There are layers to these things, yeah. So anyway, Revelation 13 and 3 says, and I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Who is able to make war with the beast? Who is able to make war with the beast, family? Excuse me. Who's able to make war with the beast is what we're seeing right now on the face of the earth. So America, whenever America rolls, obviously they roll with, they roll with all their homies, they will roll with their brothers and sisters, and I should tell you, brothers and sisters, also again, if you're rolling by yourself, you ain't going to do nothing. So when America gets up and says, we're a beast and we're going to be rolling right now, a whole lot of nations get up with them and say, we're rolling with you too. You're coming out there, we're going with you down. We're going down with you, bruv. This is this is the only time when the word gang makes any sense. This is the only time when the word gang makes any sense. All right, family. It's the only time when the word gang makes any sense. The real gang, when they get up, they roll. They're gonna go, they're gonna go they're gonna go into their place where they're gonna go take their things. The things they wanna go take, they're gonna go take it from there. So what's their reasons for being in this region? What's their reasons for wanting to topple Assad and topple Syria? What's their reasons for wanting to get into there? There's probably 2-3 serious reasons besides obviously the one biggest reason, which will come out finally. Some people say they want to build an oil pipeline through Turkey, through Syria, through Israel, through, whatever they want to do. Hey, the whole world belongs in the hand of the wicked, The whole world belongs in the hand of the wicked. So, and when we say the wicked, we're just talking about the powers that can do whatever they want without listening to nobody else. That's it. Because if it's going to hurt people, if people are going to get destroyed in the process, this is none of their business. Those who die are war collaterals. They're just war collaterals. They, their names won't even be featured in history. Those who are innocent victims of the war, women, children, mothers, the old, the sick, the weak, disabled people, all that. Nobody ain't gonna remember them when this war goes down. So, so we're hearing that Israel wants to, pass pipelines through Turkey into Europe, into the America, whatever they want to do. This is all I can only speculate what they want to do, because hearing the news and understanding these things is one thing. Actually seeing the reality is another thing. So I don't even bog myself down with these things anymore, because what does it really matter? We got more focus to keep at the same time. So, but on one level, Israel may want to build something. Also, people who remember the 6-day war that Israel had with a couple of nations that surrounded modern day Israel would understand that it's very easy for Israel to feel slightly claustrophobic in there right now, with all the so-called Arab Muslim nations surrounding them, and the spin that is put on the state of Israel at the moment that we are on the face of the earth. So forever, especially since the 1900s, Israel has been a central core topic in the Christian realm, in the Christian narrative, where Israel obviously is now aligned with the Israel in the Bible, in prophecy, in the book of Revelation, and so on and so forth. So that makes Israel look like an underdog that's fighting some real strong enemies. And it plays well in the narrative of religion. It plays well to the hearts and minds of Christian followers. They easily want to see that small tiny nation of Israel, with only a couple million of people, surrounded by Muslim Arabs who are obviously carrying a different book and a different narrative in their Quran, even though most of them are actually educated by the West. Most of them are educated by the West. Most of them get their liberty from the West. But these same people are carrying a different book, saying that they want to destroy the nation of Israel and they want to destroy Christianity. And Israel, who has been put into that area in 1948 by the British mandate. They were put into that area by the British mandate, the British powers, including the country of Jordan, even Syria itself. Syria, Iraq, Jordan, all these nations down there are just like all the nations on the earth, they're all puppets, right? Everybody knows that, right? They're all puppets. Egypt, they're all puppets. So all their leaders were Western educated people. They speak perfect English. They eat chips and fried potatoes just like we do, and they have a can of Coke, you know. So they're all just the same kind of uncles, really. It's amazing. So, and everybody's also been looking at the fact that Saudi Arabia is actually being controlled by Israel. Saudi Arabia is being controlled by Israel. So there's family links to suggest that, is this all just kind of some kind of sick game, really, where the people who are losing their lives are now they're the fools right now in this game. They're the suckers in this game of poker right there. So all these nations are in there, and sometimes it's hard to even untangle this web of intrigue, this web of deception, this web of controversy and conspiracy. You don't know who is who anymore. People come in as mirrors and smoke and sleight of hand going on all the time. So you don't even know what's going on. But all you know is death is reigning on the earth. We have America supplying a Muslim nation called Saudi Arabia with weapons. How can a country like America supply weapons to a Muslim country when the Muslim countries are saying, we want to take over the world, we want to decimate Christendom, we want to fulfill the will of their God, Allah, when they go against absolutely everything that the Christian nations go for, that the Christian nations stand for? How on earth can we actually understand that kind of madness? How on earth can we understand that kind of madness? So there's some shady hands shaking each other behind our backs, but in front of our eyes, they're telling us a different narrative. That's why I say to my Muslim family, Christian family, you don't know what you're doing. You don't really know what you're doing. And if there's any Christian-based person, Muslim-based person, it is time to come on the panel. This would be the time. World War 3 is kicking off. It's in the making. Is this just a diversion? Don't forget, this might just be a diversion, a distraction, because they do these kind of things sometimes. It will look like they're kicking off World War 3. But while you're focusing on that, their big game is actually somewhere else. Their big game is actually somewhere else. Young Puddy, thank you for the GOD there. A game of deception. So write it in there, family. The GOD, yeah. A game of deception. Absolutely. The GOD. Yeah. The game of deception, yeah. So while we're looking at this war, they may be looking at something else. While we're watching our TV, thinking this is it, kicking off. It may not actually be kicking off. It may just be a diversion, a distraction, because they've been building up this narrative for a couple of months. Russia has been poisoning some people in England, and that's true. That may well be true. Somebody was poisoned and all of that stuff. And then suddenly, Russia is talking tough. Syria is talking tough. Aleppo is talking tough. ISIS is talking tough. Everything's talking tough. Then now we've gone into the ring now, and it's bang, 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 bang. American weapons are roasting the same place that they were supplying weapons to only a couple of years ago. Trying to, punch people's eyes out whom they were seeing eye to eye only a few weeks ago, and so on. So it's like, what's going on here? But while we're watching that movie, we might like to look around us carefully and say, hold on, maybe this is some kind of false flag operation whereby we've been made to be distracted while other things can go on. You just never know. So family, look around. Is there any other news that you may think this news is trying to become a distraction for? Let me know. Put that in the comments right there. Talk to me. Maybe there's something going on in England. Maybe some elections coming up somewhere. Maybe, we don't know. China. Oh, yeah. And some people said, oh, this might be the perfect timing for China. Perfect timing for China to make a move for Taiwan. Some of you know the country called Taiwan, right? Yeah, right. Yeah. Some of you know that country called Taiwan. So, yeah, this may be the perfect time for China to make a permanent move for tiny Taiwan and just go and grab it while American troops and armies and power and focus is focused right over there in the Middle East, in Syria, right there, So China too might just make a move. This is the time most kind of other governments make their moves. If they want to do something shady, they want to do something kind of like illegal. This is the time to make that move because they know that they'd be done and gone before the US, who is the world police, can even like turn around and say, what are you doing over there? What are you doing over there? Stop that. They'd be done and gone. So this is the time. So yeah. So what about we? How do we take this World War 3 kind of thing, kind of breaking up the world right now? In your view, who holds the real power? What's this shift of power gonna cost on the face of it? I want to see your comments. I want to see if there's something I'm missing out right here that I can actually comment on. What do you think? This shift of power, is it a real one? Is China gonna come in after Russia goes in? Is Russia really ready to go in? Because America right now is saying, look, we've gone in and done a perfect delivery of our weapons in Syria, which we accuse of using weapons of chemical type against its own people, which is against the so blah 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 blah, United Nations blah 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 blah, Geneva Convention blah blah blah. So we've gone in there and bombed them. We've targeted precisely the weaponry manufacturing premises, and we've taken the main one. They've taken it out, they say, but they have not been able to take out all their facilities that produce the same type of weapons. But they've at least taken one out, and that's sending a strong message to Syria and sending a strong message to Russia that they will not tolerate in this day and age any kind of use of such material on the world stage or on any stage for that matter. So at the end of the day, people are saying, so what's the point then if you've only gone in to take out one factory? What about all the other factories? What's the point of going in there at all? America is saying, well, we just had to send out a message that we will not tolerate this. So, family, what they're saying is the war hasn't even started yet. The war hasn't even started yet. It's just like, are we scratching each other's backs here? Are we only still tying up the bootlaces? Are we only just putting on the uniforms or something? Only putting petrol in the aeroplanes? Is it petrol they're using? Stuff like that. So, America's spokespeople are then saying, how this goes is going to be seen in the next hours, days, and it's going to depend on how Syria reacts. Russia has already been quoted as saying there's going to be consequences for this American aggression, for the West's aggression in Syria, given the fact that Russia itself is saying, look, if any Russian lives or interests are harmed or damaged, there will be consequences for America. Some say, where will those consequences be? I'm just quoting what I heard. But there are going to be consequences for America and maybe the West. Well, maybe that's what the West wants. Maybe they want some kind of like retaliatory action from Russia. I wouldn't say hey, and you never know. We wouldn't say that Syria is going to be able to pull off a retaliatory action on its own, but with the backing of Russia and China waiting in the wings, anything's possible. Anything's possible. So, with that said, there's also the angle that the war in Syria, obviously, like you all know, family, the war in Syria is a proxy war. A proxy war is whereby some nations want to really fight each other, but they can't fight each other directly and publicly for all sorts of reasons. But instead, they make it look like somebody else is fighting, and they just coming in there to support or to quell the fight, to make the peace. But while they're trying to make the peace, they're actually fighting. So the question, the topic in question right here is, America having beef with Russia. America has beef with Russia, and America and Israel. America and Israel is one country. They have beef with Russia and probably with China. Chinese expansion is being frowned upon. China themselves are eager to expand beyond Asia, and it looks like it's hard to do, but they're gonna have to do that because the world is not used to Chinese culture the way it's used to Western culture or even Arabic culture. The world is more used to Arabic culture than it's used to Chinese culture, all the way up into Europe. Most people only know about Chinese fried rice. That's all they know. I'm just being straight up there. No disrespect to my Chinese brothers and sisters. The same way they don't know nothing about my country. They don't know nothing about Africa besides to call us all kinds of funny names. The same way they be looking at China for a time. In fact, there's actually more links between Chinese and black people than there is between Chinese and the Western world. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a real fact, family. So they're more kin to Africa than the Westerners are or want to be. It's a real fact. So if you know that's true, give that 789. China is more kin to Africa than the Westerners claim to be. That's a 789. Come on, give it a 7. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's just facts. It's just facts. It's just facts. So anyway, China, for them to expand into mainframe Europe or anywhere, or even into Africa, China have to go through they'll have to go through like fighting their way into the Near East and into the Middle East, and even into getting some kind of influence in Europe from all the old Russian republics. But yeah, Russia will do that spreading of the good news for them. Spread the good news and good influence if they're going to be working together. But at the same time, Russia is trying to protect its own monopoly of those same old Soviet blocs. So China knows that, how do I move my own pieces right now? So some of the countries in just besides and under China don't even want to know. They don't want to know. They don't want no more Chinese expansion, and a lot of those countries are taking on Islam as a bulwark against China's spread. So China is clamping down on Islam in China. So it ain't gonna have much luck, if you want, trying to cross over all them people to get into the Middle East. So Saudi Arabia is properly protected like that. But obviously, when these nations, obviously India is there. Don't let me forget that. Yeah. But these Muslim nations, they won't allow China to expand without some kind of serious concession. But when these Muslim nations start to realize that Saudi Arabia itself is just a puppet to Israel, hence a puppet to America, things will get really fiery. things could get really fiery. So that's why information that's been going out for years and months is being frowned upon by all those powers you see down at Speaker's Corner trying to stop their people from realizing that this is just a hoax. This is just a stupid game going on. And we are just the dross in the game. We're just like pawns in the game. Look, your lives don't matter to these people. Your lives don't matter to these people. They're not interested in you. They're not. I mean, where was America only a couple of months ago when the Rohingya crisis was happening? If it's about human rights and human dignity and life, where was America? Where was England, France, and Germany? Where were they when during the Rohingya crisis? Never mind the Libya crisis. Never mind the Boko Haram crisis. Where were all these powers? Family, where were they? Come on, somebody tell me. Where were they? Where were they, family? Where were they, family? Were they anywhere to be found? But suddenly, it's still got it's pouring in billions of dollars to go and rescue, same type of victims in Syria. Same type of victims in Syria. When he didn't even bat an eyelid to go and rescue these people fleeing from 2 different countries. Burma. Where are we again here? Burma. They were trapped between Burma, Bangladesh. They're just trapped. They were trapped, walking out in mud, in cold, in mosquito, everything. The United Nations didn't put aside like a couple of billions or $100 million or something and say, let's relocate these people to somewhere. Let's relocate them and make them feel safe, make them feel cared for like human beings. Saudi Arabia didn't do that either. Rich Muslim nations didn't give a toot. They didn't give a toot. At the same time, they're piling on the fire upon Yemen right there, and nobody talks. Nobody says nothing. So anyone can see that it's really not about humanitarian assistance at all. It's not about humanitarian assistance at all. It's about taking life off the planet. That's what it is. They want to destroy all life on the planet. Come on, family. They want to destroy all life of the planet. Don't believe me. Just do your checks. Do your checks. They want to destroy all life on the planet, family. So it's irritating. It's irritating when we check why they do what they do and the narrative that they give us. We always been lied to. So China is there getting ready for their move to take over, if possible, the world, because from what we already understand, the American economy is near crumbling. The dollar really has no real power besides being called a printing press. All due respect to America, but that's how people see America right now. They or see the dollar right now. It's only the dollar because there's weapons behind it, but in terms of real value behind it, real collateral behind it, real backed up by gold or backed up by anything serious, people can't see that. So it's just a printing press at the end of the day. No different to what Uncle Idi Amin was quoted as being upset with somebody who said, look, our money is just like toilet paper right now. It's worth nothing. So the Chinese are moving in because they got capital that's on something. they're like, yeah, we've been productive here. We actually have something. We got something going on. We're producing. If we don't produce, nobody's having nothing. So they are now a serious ally to Russia. Russia, a serious ally to Syria. Syria looks tiny, but Syria is looking like the trigger for World War 3. A proxy war is already started to bring in World War 3, whereby America is trying to go against Russia and using Syria as the kick-off, even to get into into Iran. It's the same thing, because Syria and Iran are seriously opposed to the Saudi Arabian system, which they believe is controlled by Zionists. All right. They believe that it's controlled by Zionists. Saudi Arabia is controlled by Zionists. Syria and Iran have that beef. They want to see a different type of system. And the Western world is trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, Syria and Iran have the backing of Russia and China. So the game is set. The game is set, family. The game is set. How do you see this turning out, family? Are we in early days? What should African countries be doing right now? It's really funny anyway, because when they convened a session quickly after the forced strike of after United Nations, after US struck in Syria, the Russian delegates convened a United Nations meeting to complain about this. And I'm looking in the United Nations. I'm like, what's going on in the United Nations? There's no black people there trying to give any point of view. Why is it just like the white Western world always making judgment on everything? Like if a world war breaks out, doesn't this affect all the black peoples of the world as well? India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, all these places. Africa. But why is there nobody from there, like, who's gonna come and say, look, families, can we, take this thing slightly easy? Maybe if we put down our guns and come and do something else, Why weapons? Why? Half of Africa is already decimated due to your weapons, due to your insatiable appetite for warmongering, for blood, sacrifice. Can't we take it easy? This one you want to start now is going to kick off a nuclear arms race again. Because the way that America was moving in against Syria, family, it's like, what? I don't even know, the way they were moving in, it was serious. I'm like, huh? It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's like, when you see those images, you're like, whoa, this is what it really looks like. When it's just being said on the news, it just sounds like you're listening to a football game or something. But when you see the real effects that it's having, you see real military hard gear being moved into place. You see real people being shuffled from here to there in preparation. Young men and women whose lives are now going to have to get sacrificed for hate, for peace, for war, for gain, for greed, for whatever their reason is for going to war. and exacerbate conflict in a region that's already been like seriously decimated by war over the last decade, if not more. Iraq is going through a serious problem. Then you have ISIS in Iraq, ISIS operating in Iraq, ISIS operating in Syria, Turkey getting involved, crossing over into Syria with the pretext to stamping out some of the terrorists who are now running helter-skelter over borders. Syria is saying, you started all this rubbish, the Western world. You started this because you, against the United Nations resolutions, you invaded Iraq. You invaded Iraq. And that kicked off this whole madness. You the ones who created ISIS. You created ISIS. ISIS ran into Syria. ISIS are running into every country, causing trouble. And you coming now to tell us not to do anything about it. And when we do something about it, then you come and punish us for doing something about people whom you created and continue to support and fund. That's the Syrian stance on the subject. That's the Syrian stance on the subject. Syria was calling upon Russia that Russia should come in and help them to stem the tide of the conflict or the onslaught of an insidious proxy power that they believe the West had put up inside Iraq and Syria to try and overthrow Assad. That's their stance. But Russia is not having it because besides the fact that they may have some, real love for each other, and they want to see a balance of power in the Middle East because that protects Russia's image and power structure as well. There's also the stance that Russia themselves have billions of dollars invested in the region. They have billions of dollars invested in the region. Pipelines, oil lines, gas lines into Europe. They have investments also. So it's in their interest, they say, to come into Syria, come into that region with military power to fight off these insurgents, these proxy warriors being given all kinds of names. And that draws Russia into an arena that they don't really want to be in. They don't really want to be in that arena, unless obviously it's just a game. But they don't really want to be in that arena. But they're drawn into that arena. And that arena, unfortunately, is too close to Saudi Arabia, to Jordan, to Israel, who are now feeling threatened because they know that Russia has love for Syria, has love for Iran. What if they come and join forces and do something that Israel will find non-beneficial for them? What if that happens? So the game is huge, family. There's, I couldn't even go over everything in there. Those of you who want to read scripture all the time, some of this scripture don't apply to these people, family. Some of these scriptures you're thinking about do not apply to these people, family. They apply to the true Israel. So you got to keep that scripture for until when we are in that position. At the moment, this is just games. So, yeah, but let me know. So as we were reading in Revelation 13 and 4, we read again. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? That's what this is about. The beast, the finality of the beast business is consolidation of power on the earth, whereby the power is going to be grabbed from everybody. Each power that goes down increases the power of the victor of that battle. All right. Each power that goes down increases the power of the winning side. That's what this is about in many ways. Because don't forget, family, coming from a biblical standpoint, we must understand this thing, that for the Antichrist system to fully confer power on an Antichrist person, the power has to be complete. That power has to be complete, because right now it's obvious to see that the power is not complete yet. Iran, Syria ain't listening to America. Russia ain't listening to America either. China ain't listening to nobody. China actually wants somebody listen to them. If you would ask them, they would say, look, we have a track record that's going to benefit the world more than anybody else. Why don't you all listen to us for a change? They would say that. They can almost say they can prove that. They ain't been bothering nobody. They ain't been warring with nobody. They're putting their own house in order. Yes, they got their own problems like everybody else has. They're doing the world a whole lot of benefits. Ain't nobody can point fingers at them and say, yeah, you oppressed us. You took us into slavery. You decimated our countries with your religion. Yeah, they got their own, their own immediate problems with Tibet and Taiwan and what's it called now? Japan and Hong Kong. Yeah. But you wouldn't see the kind of history that's behind the Christian West and the Islamic Middle East. You wouldn't see that kind of history where, even till today, right now, they're still busy up in other people's countries, disturbing the peace and acting as triggers for global instability. Nobody's called to question the idea that after the 9/11 massacre, that there were Saudi citizens who needed to be questioned. Nobody's calling for that. Nobody's calling for that thing to come to the fore to say, look, we still got to hold some people accountable. But everybody else has been to court. Everybody else has been to court. But ain't nobody going to go to court from Saudi and the Israeli nation. 9/11 in 9/11 in the US, 7/7 in the UK. Nobody's calling these other nations to come to court to answer for crimes against humanity, even if they're just allegations. Because it takes two to tango, as they say. It takes two to tango, right? So, but this ain't happening. That's because, like the book says, who is able to make war with the beast? The beast is made up of different parts. In this case, different nations who are like, the strongest nations militarily right now. They're the strongest nations militarily. So they can come down and say, look, we say what's right. We tell you what's right, and you do what we say. And that goes for the whole world. But some countries are saying, no. You may think you're the beast, but we're going to put you to the test. We're going to put you to the test. So we're going to go against you. That's why they're saying who can make war with the beast. Doesn't mean nobody ain't going to try it. It just means like, well, let's see how it goes. Somebody's going to come up. Who's going to defeat Usain Bolt? We have to wait and see. Who's going to get in the ring with Mike Tyson? We have to wait and see. Who's going to make war with the beast? Somebody has to get up there and knock the beast out. And people are pining for that right now. People want to change. They want change. Tell me what you feel, family. Would you rather see China lead the world? Put your votes in. China to lead the world America to lead the world. Let's do a vote. China to lead the world. Put number 1 there. America to lead the world. Put number 2 there. And then Russia to lead the world. Put number 3. So let's do this again. Let's have some fun, family. Let's do a little poll right now. Yeah. China, put 1. Yeah. Russia, put 2. Yeah. And then China, Russia, and who's the third one? America. Yeah. America. Then put 3. Yeah. Let's vote on that, family. Yeah. Let's see what people think. China to rule the world, 1. Russia, 2. America, 3. Yeah. I don't want any funny suggestions either, family. Let's not have any funny suggestions. Don't tell me Africa to lead the world. Don't put Africa in trouble right now. Yeah? Let's get our house in order first, yeah? Come on, family. What's going on? Are you all tired or something? I've not seen anything. What's going on? China to lead the world. Let there be a new shift in power. Come on. China 1, Russia 2, America 3. Somebody's got to lead this world. I'm not. What do you mean? How can we choose? How can we choose between the 3 evils? We're not choosing. Somebody always has to fall into place. You got no choice, Raphael. You got no choice. You got no choice. What do? You see what I'm saying? What do we do? Don't forget that we pray for the kingdom of life to come. But in the meantime, what can we do? Well, if we say none of them, what are you going to have? Look, let me tell you something, family. When you have no ruler in any place, then you have chaos. You got to have one. There's nothing you can do. Some of you who look in the Bible, this is especially for you. There's nothing we can do about it. That's why our Creator warned us to choose right. He already told us, like, once we neglect Him, once we reject Him, then we're at the mercy of these people. Don't forget, if you remember in the book of Judges and Kings, we didn't want the Most High to lead us. In the book of Exodus, we wanted to have a king over ourselves. We wanted to have a king over ourselves, and it was painful for the Most High. He was like, hold on, I am your creator. I've got the blueprint. I made you. I've got the manual. I've got the troubleshooting. I've got everything. You gonna leave me to appoint a king over yourselves, one of you who needs guidance? And we said, yeah, that's what we want. So, hey, there you go. So we chose. So since we chose, we got to continue choosing. Because let me put it this way. Most of you can't answer this question. You know why you can't answer, innit? Most of you can't answer this question because the option is for you to choose life. And if you choose life, you need to listen to Him. You need to listen to Him from like the morning you wake up. But most people don't want to listen to their Creator. Most people don't want to listen to their Creator. They want to be atheists. They want to be Kemets. They want to be Amun-Ra. They want to be Christians. They want to be Muslim. They want to be Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh. They want to be everything. So with that said, with that in mind, how are you going to come to a consensus in a world that doesn't have a strong, brutal leader? How are you going to have to come to some consensus? How will you do it? I'm waiting for your suggestions, family. How will we do it? Yeah, we're choosing between shit or piss. Exactly. Are you quoting me again, yeah? A choice between shit or piss. Yeah, that's it, Mr. Nuff. Exactly. You got to choose one. The point is, if you don't choose, then you're left with real outright anarchy. Real outright anarchy is coming on the earth anyway. Real outright anarchy is coming on the earth anyway. It's coming anyway. It's what you see right now. You know, like the powers that be said. They said that the New World Order will not be forced on the people. The people will demand it. People will demand the New World Order. People will demand it. People will what? Demand the NWO. People will demand it because there's going to be so much chaos on the earth, that we will think right now is paradise. What we have right now will look like paradise. And I know, some people think, yeah, it's okay, we're not. But try and talk about that to people in Syria right now. Try and tell them it's paradise in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Mexico, Boko Haram, Somalia. Try and tell them it's paradise right now. They'll be like up in your face. But to some of us living in the West, it's paradise right now, because we got running water, our toilets flush, Tesco is down the street, Walmart is up the road, there's electricity, our hospitals work, stuff like that, yeah? So to us, it looks like paradise. But when the real SHIT hits the fan in the West, which you can see broiling up slowly, when it hits the fan, excuse me, we would then be praying for whatever the option or whatever the solution can be. We would be praying for that. We would be praying for any type of normalcy to return, even if that means all humanity is going into chains. That's people going to be like, yeah, but we just want to stop this war. There'll be humans eating human flesh alive, family. Humans going to be eating human flesh like it's chicken meat. It's going to be eating up each other like chicken meat. That's what they're planning for us. Excuse me. I've got a really cold room in here. People going to be eating people up. Food's going to run out on the earth. Let's read some. Wait. Excuse me. Oh, wow. I didn't put on the heater. Let me read something. Let me try and read something. Right. Yeah, let's read Revelation 13, yeah? If you don't get tired, family, let's read Revelation 13. Right? Revelation 13, it says, I'm going to read all of Revelation 13, okay? I'm going to read all of Revelation 13. Revelation 13 and start from 1. Okay? Revelation 13, I'm going to start from 1, okay? Excuse me. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshipped the dragon, who gave authority to the beast. Now, family, Satan himself doesn't have a problem sharing power with those who go and work for him. That's what we just read here in Revelation 13 and 3. Let me read that again. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been wounded mortally, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. Verse 4. So they worshipped the dragon, who gave authority to the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? All right, family, you've seen that. It's clearly in there. We know there's so many interpolations that we can put on the beast, but we're going to keep it streamlined to to this gathering right now because it's too much to go into all at once. Okay, who is able to make war with the beast? Verse 5. And he was given a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against our Creator, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. Okay, now that's the key there for you to understand that, look, while we're still on earth, we have no choice. What power are you going to call to come and help you? You've got to choose between the evils just to survive right now. We've got to choose between the evils, because some of you who may have some kind of sentiments for the Bible, when I say choose one between Russia, China, and America to lead the world, and you say they're all evil, yeah, they are, but why aren't we running into tunnels? Why aren't we going to live underground if we know they're evil? So we've become comfortable with some of the evil and some of these evil powers. Even they themselves, they're like, where do we go now? Many of the people working in these nation's top places, they're like, where do we go now? The last time we checked, a place over in Norway or Denmark, they were storing world seeds, non-genetically modified seeds. They were storing them in an underground bunker because they were getting ready for Armageddon. It's a real thing, family. They were storing the world's seeds. Non-GMO seeds were being stored in a vast underground bunker because anything could happen on Earth at any time to wipe out all Earth and the ecosystem. So they were storing these seeds away. They're storing away animal DNA in case the world gets obliterated by some nuclear power and we have to restart over again, because it's a real plan. They're doing that. So I'm not just reading like the Bible because this is real things going on the face of the earth right now. We're going to reveal some more stuff that's going on right now. Okay, so let me finish reading this. Verse 6. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Creator, to blaspheme his name. That's why I say to you, family, when you don't understand the Creator's name, you can't understand what's going on the face of the earth. You can only understand why they want to put death on the earth when you understand the Creator's name and who the Creator is. When you understand that the Creator is life eternal, and you see these people trying to make sure that life eternal can stop. They want to stop life eternal. They want to have death eternal. You see, they want death eternal versus life eternal. That's what this is about. All right. It's death eternal versus life eternal. And, coming into this understanding, coming into this understanding, it starts to become clearer to you. It starts to become clearer to you because you must think in your mind, how is it that the whole world powers are so hell-bent on creating weapons that only destroy life? Why are they only hell-bent on creating weapons that only destroy life? None of the things they're creating promotes life. It looks like it is. There's a similitude to it, but it's promoting death. So any one of you who thinks, Baba Tai is wrong, no, we got some nice technology. Just come on the panel. Come on the panel. Because I can't do justice talking to myself. All right? But when you really look at the thing in truth, you will see that everything that they make is to make death happen on the face of the earth. Everything. They kill the water. water, which is life itself. They kill the plants. They kill human beings. They kill air. They're damaging the earth itself is bleeding. The earth itself is bleeding. Children dying, mothers screaming their heads off. Fathers just at each other's throat all day long, like this is a MMA thing. Religions can't agree. Even where it's just the one religion in the same one country, is death all day long. Democracy, communism, everything you can name under the face of the sun. Everything's death. Everything is death. If I'm lying, somebody talk to me. If I'm lying, somebody talk to me. So that's why the name of the Creator is important, because it really starts to put in perspective the difference between what it would be like to have life and what it is to have what we have right now, which is death, which is the God. So we have the God right now. All right. The God is what we have. The game of deception, the game of death. Okay. Game of death, family, is what we have right now. Right. So you all know that, yeah? We have the game of death called God. That's what the whole earth is worshiping. That's where you read in the book where it says in verse 7 of Revelation 13. It says, excuse me. Sorry, in Revelation 13 and verse 6, it says, then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Creator. I know they put God in there for you, but that's just to continue your miseducation, all right? So if you got problems with that and you want to, clarify what Brother Ty is talking about and you don't know yet, just reach out to me. The website is there. The email is there. There's a free app there. Reach out to me if you want to understand what this thing is about. So that word God is the game of deception, the game of death. They use it, they put it in there so you can't find life. But we will explain to you. So reading on again, Revelation 13 and 6. It says, then the beast opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Creator, who is eternal life, to blaspheme his name. To blaspheme his name. They won't tell you the name. They can't tell you the name. But they made it look like they've told you the name, but they can't tell you the name. They can't. All right? So it says, verse 6, Revelation 13, I'm going to read it and continue reading now. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Creator, to blaspheme his name. How is his name blasphemed? It's blasphemed when they want to go against everything that is life. That's how his name is blasphemed. When they want to oppose life. In trying to oppose life, they have to institute death. And then tell me that death is not the order in the world right now. Tell me that death is not the order of the world right now. Bring any of them, bring them up here. Death is the order in the world right now. Right? To blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. It was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. So all of you Israelites who think you're just going to get away being an Israelite, just reading the Bible, and that's going to be that. It's not going to be that easy, family. If you're an Israelite, it just says here, it was granted him to make war with the saints. You, if you want to be an Israelite, if you are going to be an Israelite, if you are an Israelite, you got to get prepared for this war. You got to get prepared for this war. Otherwise, you just go down like all the other nations. Don't say you're an Israelite and not rise up to know that you got to be working. You got to be working to rescue people from death. Rescue people from death if you're an Israelite. So Israelites, this is the message. Save your neighbor. your neighbor from death. From the God. Yeah, from jet. Save your neighbor from God. That's the message there, family. All right. If you're Israelite, save your neighbor from the God. Save your neighbor from God. It's funny. I know some of you don't understand yet. You'd be like, what? Save your neighbor from God? It'd be like, it don't make sense. I thought God was the quote unquote good guy. No, God is death. The God is the game of death. That's why they make you use that name. It's Goth, a Germanic word, Goth, Goth, became God, which you're now calling on every day. So every day people go to church, people go to mosque, and they pray to God. Well, God answers them. When they pray to God, they pray to death. Okay? Praying to God is asking for death. All right? So you all know that, family, yeah? Praying to God is asking for death. All right? So we have death on the earth right now. So death is answering us. Death is answering us right now. Death is answering us right now, family. Death is answering the whole world. The whole world is seeing it because they've been praying to it. Everyone been praying to death. And death is like, okay, you want me? You want me in here? And he's coming back. More and more. More and more. Let's open up something again. It was Sister Dana who sent me a notification the other day, actually. Let me open this one up. England opens. Let's show you this happening. I know this is going to sound funny to some people, but you know, do what you want with the information. Because it's real. It's real, family. It's real. All right? It's our real things. And I gotta get this scripture ready for us. 1 second. Give me a second, family. Give me a second. Let me get this image in there for you. Correct. Let me get this image in there for you so we can see a little bit more of the picture we're trying to paint. Where are we here? What's everything gone? It's strange, isn't it? Strange. Right, okay. So give me a second, yeah. So this is something that I don't know if some of you've seen that already. Fit to screen. Okay. This is what happened in Africa, Kenya, a couple of days or weeks ago or what now, yeah? A whole huge section of the earth just opened up. You know, a whole new section of the earth just opened up. Oh boy, what do you think? I'm struggling for words that I want to bring out now. And a lot of people don't understand what's going on the earth. When you see some of these things, it looks like nothing. It looks like nothing until you start understanding what the earth and everything is about. Okay. I'm hoping I can go through some scripture right now. It's just trying to juggle 2, 3, 4 things all at once. It's kind of like a little bit of a funny thing, but I'm gonna see if I can keep my mind on it. So we were reading how in verse 6, blaspheming the name of the Creator and asking for death on the face of the earth. Okay, when we're asking for death on the face of the earth, little do we know that demons and powers of darkness that live under the ground, under the earth, even in the oceans, that they're being summoned by the earth. They're being summoned by the people who live on the earth. Okay, family? When this kind of summon goes out, the powers in the underground, called the British Underground, they start to answer you. Anyone who knows the power of summoning and all that kind of thing, you understand this. Powers get summoned from beneath the earth. Demons and powers of darkness. Like we read in the book of Revelation, all the angels that fell from the heavens fell onto the earth. They have to take abode somewhere. Now, since we started shouting and calling for God, which is Goth, we started screaming, praying, going on in Africa. They don't pray anywhere in the world like they pray in Africa. In mosques, in churches, in all kinds of temples. They pray to death, calling God. All these funny names, Yahweh, Yahwashi, all these names that are they're just death. Jesus. All these names that has been given unto us on the face of the earth, which has got nothing to do with life. None of those names have anything to do with life. That's why we always invite people to come on the panel and come and, prove what they're talking about. But it's evident every single time we pray and pray and pray and pray, and we get answered by death. Only death answers the world right now. Only death is answering the world. And our leaders on the world stage are happy because we are the ones demanding death. We, the masses of the world, are the ones asking for death. They don't even do nothing. Don't forget, we put these people into office. And they send us to go to church. They send us to go to pray in the mosque. And while we're there, don't forget, it's a serious cycle. We put them into power. Okay, family? In all countries of the earth right now. Listen to me. We put these leaders into power. And these leaders, in turn, put other people into power in the mosques and the churches. So they say there's a separation between the church and the state. There's a separation between the mosque and the state, and so on and so forth. Yeah. But once we allow our leaders, elected leaders, to appoint, because they do the appointments, you can be well assured that they do the appointments, all right? Following the orders from beneath the earth. They do the appointments. The appointments then put in religious leaders. The religious leaders then come and ask us to come into church, so we don't feel like we're being forced by the governments that we elected. So they put us into churches and mosques and everywhere else, and they ask us to pray to God or to pray to gods, i.e. to pray to death or many deaths, different types of death. Which death do you want today? Do you want Yahwashi death or do you want Yahoo death? Do you want Allah death? Or do you want Shiva death? Which death do you want? You want Shango death or you want Oshun death? Which death do you want today? There's a whole list. There's a menu. The menu of death. It's a restaurant. A menu of death. Write that in there. It's a menu of death. Religion. Religion offers us The menu of death, family. All right? Menu of death. They offer us the menu of death, and we just choose one. We choose one. And once we can choose one, or we can choose multiple, multiple answers, and we get what we ask for. We get what we ask for. And when it comes, the people go crazy, like, oh, what's going on? What's happening here? And they never seem to think, like, hold on, you the one asking for death. We're the ones asking for it. We get what we. You remember the scripture that says, ask and you shall what? Somebody help me out. Ask and you shall what? Ask and you shall what? Talk to me. Ask and you shall what? Come on. Somebody must be scripture in there. Ask and you shall what? Come on. I hope you all hear him. You shall receive. Thank you. Thank you. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall what? Seek and you shall what? Seek and you shall. I'm waiting. Sorry, it's just like, the things. Yeah, seek and you shall find. There you go. And then knock, and it shall be what? Knock on the door and it shall be what? Knock and it shall be what? Come on, family. Knock and you shall be what? And it shall be opened. There you go. It shall be opened. There you go, family. So we've been asking, we've been seeking, and we've been knocking on the door. And you see the world, the earth opening up, the heavens opening up, portals opening up in the skies, portals opening up in the seas, portals opening up on the earth. That's because we've been asking. We've been asking. We've been asking. Portals are being opened up on the earth, in the seas, and in the skies. I'm trying to look for a scripture right now. I can't even remember the keyword I'm looking for right there. Where are we right now? Let me see if I can just about remember that scripture. Yeah. Let me see. I'm sorry, family. My brain's a bit slow. Yeah. That's it. Okay. Let me have a look. Yeah, here we go. Let's read Revelation 17, family. Let's go Revelation 11 first. Yeah. Revelation 11, family. So you can get the understanding. It's full. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened up. But they didn't teach us that. What exactly are we talking about here? All right. Yes, it also implies and relates to us being righteous, to ask, to receive, to knock, to get opened, to seek and to find. It relates to us as a nation talking to his creator, who is life, and I can give you the precepts for that. Okay. But at the same time, it's also based on other scriptures, so that if we do the right thing, we'll be asking for the right thing. If we do the wrong things, we will be asking for the wrong things. Whatever you do will produce whatever you desired. Whatever you do will determine what you get. Whatever you do will determine what you get. So if you save £1, you get £1. If you save a penny, you get a penny, and so on and so forth. So everybody understands that. So when we're on the earth asking all day long for death, which is Goth, when we're asking for it, we shouldn't be surprised when that's all we keep seeing. Because our Creator says, try me, try life and see. Moses said to the children of Israel, is he still saying to the children of the world today, seek life, seek life, seek life. Yeah, seek life, right? Seek life is 789. Yeah, seek life. But people are going about seeking death. You understand? People are going about seeking death. So is it a confusion now that we seeing death? We seeing death everywhere we turn is death. Everywhere we turn, there's some horror going on. Everywhere we see is death, 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 death. It must make us wonder, is it because we are asking for it? Isn't it because we are designing it? Isn't it because we desire it? Because if we desire the opposite, wouldn't we get the opposite? Wouldn't we get the opposite, family? So that's why I'm not trying to make excuses for, the world and say, no, I'm trying to show you what's going on and to make you understand. You need to seek life. You need to seek Iye. You need to seek this truth. All those other names people are calling on, they're getting the answers for them. This is the one name that nobody wants to call on is Iye. They don't want to call on that one. They want death. They want you seeking death. They want you calling on God, calling on Allah, Yasharala, Yahuwah. They want you calling on everything that can't give us life. There's no evidence to suggest that we're getting what we ask. If we thought we're asking for life, we're not getting it. All our world leaders, we've shown you stuff the other time. There's too many videos out there that you can look into, and there's stuff on the channel. We've been over this sort of thing where our leaders are asking for death. They're asking for Satan to come forth. They're asking for Satan to come forth. Let's read it from Revelation 11. Yeah, Revelation 11. Yeah. Revelation 11, right? I'm going to go Revelation 11 and 7. Revelation 11 and, and 7. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to use this one quickly. Revelation 11 and 7. So let me read that. So Revelation 11 and 7 says, when they finished their testimony, this is talking about the last two prophets, yeah? The beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit. You hear that, family? The beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit will make war against them, overcome them, and kill them. Did you hear that, family? The beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit. You families probably think this is all allegory. Some of you think this is all allegory, right? You think it's all allegory, that, that's not a real pit. It is a real pit. You just haven't been sort of like informed about it yet. You haven't been informed about it. Yeah? So we read that there's a bottomless pit, and the beast that we see making war on the earth, whom we're told who can make war against the beast. There ain't nobody who can make war against the beast. We've seen that beast actually comes out of the abyss. So you see, let's go into Revelation 7 and 8. Revelation 17 and 8, yeah? 17 and 8. Just to make sure that you can see the whole line of reasoning there from the scripture, that it's right and it's in there. That's why you see the earth opening up, even in Kenya. Kenya is even like close to where the world creation began. All right. You see that place opening up. This is only recently, and they're wondering what's going on. Because as you hear, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Things are coming back to where it all started, family. Things are coming back to where it all started. Let's read Revelation 17 and 8. If you got your books, let's go. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit. Oh, I'm reading the wrong one. Sorry. My excuse. I read that one already. Revelation 17 and 18. The beast that thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of what? The book of what, family? If you're following me, the book of what? Whose names were not written in the book of what? Come on, I'm waiting for you. Whose names were not written in the book of? Come on, talk to me. There you go. There you go. So the beast which came out of the bottomless pit, which we know is death, ascends out of the bottomless pit and went into perdition. Perdition means into ruin, into destruction, all right, into condemnation. And then they that dwell on the face of the earth shall wonder. To them it was going to be a wonder. To you who want life, don't let it be a wonder unto you. Because you're being shown the thing right here. You're being shown the thing right here, yeah? So, but to the other people who don't understand yet, they're going to be like, what's going on? And it says, Revelation 17 and 8, the beast that thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit. Bottomless pit. Listen, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of God. Is it the book of God? Listen to that. Book of God. Is it book of God, family? I know we've covered it one time already, but is it the book of God? Because if God is the ruler on the face of the earth, how come it's not the book of God? Talk to me, family. It's the book of life. For some reason, God went missing. God went missing suddenly. God went missing. Right there. God went missing right there, family. God went missing right there. God went missing. It's amazing, isn't it? God went missing suddenly. God couldn't take it anymore. God couldn't take it anymore. Because he was thrown into perdition. God went into perdition. God couldn't take it. He couldn't take it. You see, God could not take it anymore, family. He went into perdition. God went into destruction. Then life became the ruler again. Life became the ruler again, family. God could not take it anymore. Life took his rightful place. All right. And it says, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life. Give life a capital spelling there. Capital spelling. This is where they don't want you to know. The book of life, from the foundation. From the foundation of the world. Well, who founded the world? Who founded the world? How was the world This is English is horrible. Who founded the world? The world was founded by life. That's why we have life. Who founded the world? Life founded the world. That's why we have life. That's why they like to say the beginning of life on earth. The beginning of life on earth. So we're seeing right here in the book, Revelation 17 and 8 and Revelation 11 and 7, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. Life is being from the foundation, not God. God came in after life, i.e. death came in after life, eternal. Okay, family. Death came in. We accepted death. Death came in after life was already from the foundation. Then death came in and we accepted death. We started dealing with death. We're calling on it now, but it's not going to be eternal. Death is not going to be eternal for those of you who want life. For those of you who want life, you may die, but that's not the end. Dying is like when we sleep. Dying is like when we sleep at night or something, and you wake up and you're still like, oh, I'm here. So, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. Revelation 20 and 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. So the bottomless pit does exist. That's where hell is. That's where the real fiery hell is. It's a real place. It's a real place. Some of you don't understand, but that could be another lesson. It's a real place. So out of that darkness of that underworld, which you always hear people say the underworld, yeah, the underworld, the underworld, the underworld, the underworld. You always hear people say that, the underworld. Movies say it, the underworld. You know, comics say it, the underworld. The Illuminati say it. You know, all these secret societies, they say it. They let you know there's an underworld. There's so much underworld that there's the underground as well. So they let you know that there's things under the ground, just the same way we are underground. When we die, we go under. There are animals living under the ground. There's humans living under the ground. There's powers living under the ground. The same way there are those living on the ground. Don't let anybody get you twisted over those things. It's a real things. There's nothing new under the sun. Under the sun. Everything under the sun is fair game. Fair game. You can imagine it, it's there. So, we see why the ground is opening up in many places, why the heavens are opening up in many places, why the waters are opening up in many places, because we on the face of the earth are all the time calling on death. We're calling on God. When we get into trouble, we're calling on death. I mean, people be calling on death even after death happened. They still calling on death to come and help them. But death don't work like that. Death will not work against its own interest. Death doesn't work against its own interest. Death doesn't work against its own interest. So right now, like we've seen many a times before, even especially happening in the Middle East while the war was going on there, you see people screaming out, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Those who are killing them are also screaming Allahu Akbar. I mean, I'm like, which one of them is Allahu Akbar going to save? Which one of them does he have an interest in? Which one of them? The ones who are being killed or the ones doing the killing? The ones doing the killing usually have more power, but they're still calling on power to help them to kill. And the ones being killed look like the underdog, the ones without the power, and they're crying to the same Allah. But it's like something's wrong here. How can both of you be calling on the same guy but have two different interests? You know, same same guy, but two different interests. Two different interests. Yeah? Two different interests. One's calling on Allah so they can be able to kill properly. The other is calling on Allah so they can be saved. So you know something's wrong. It's the same in the Christian business. It's the same in all religions. It's the same because they're all religions of death, family. Sorry if your sentiments are being challenged right there, but it's all religion of death because you can't show me any life. You can't show me any life in there. So that's the World War 3 kicking off, family, because the humans are asking for it, and our leaders feel obliged to give it to us. Humans are asking for World War 3. Humans are asking for World War 3, family. Humans asking for World War 3. Governments will deliver. That's the game. Governments will deliver. That's the game, family. Humans are asking for it. Governments will deliver. There you go. That's simple. What else can we say? I'm open up the panel. Anyone wants to come on the panel? Otherwise, that's me done for this evening or this morning. Anyone wants to come on the panel and talk to us? His brother Kazan there. His sister Dana there. If you're listening. That's this lesson done. We can go on and on and on, but hey, I'm trying to keep it in low time as well, so people can actually just decide to watch it. But yeah, that's the lesson then. You know, people are asking for World War 3. The governments will deliver. That's it. Because that's the underlying factor. If we as human beings on the face of the earth, if we ask for anything different, they must give it to us. They don't have a choice. But when we ask for death, why do we get surprised when we see it? Why do we get surprised when we see death? We asking for it. So anyone who got something to ask, something to say, it's the time to come in and do it. I'm gonna share the link. Let me do this one. Let me share a link. I'm gonna create let me share a link. Let me see. Let me call it GH. I'm gonna call it GH and hold on. I just called it GH and G. What did I just do right now? Let me see. Name your group. Right. Okay. GH. There you go. Okay. So oh, what did I just do just now? Oh, hold on. Sorry. Now copy this link. And yeah, so anyone who wants to join, I'm gonna just put a link out there. Anyone who wants to come in. Otherwise, that's how we're gonna leave it for this evening, family. But this is the link. Anyone wants to come in and talk something or ask something or say something, that's the link right there. Otherwise, if Sister Dana or Brother Kazan wants to come in and give some views and opinions as well, that's all nice. So yeah, family, let me know what you think. Let me know what you see. All right, the lines are open right now. Sister Dana, yeah. Okay. So fine, we'll have to do something another night. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's fine. What we'll do is we'll continue the Africa project in the week, Sister Dana. Maybe tomorrow, Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll try and do something to that time, yeah? If nobody wants to come at the moment. Baba Kazan, shalom to you. Shalom to you. So shalom to all family. Shalom to all family. All of you family, shalom to all of you. I'm going to be taking a break from this video right now. It's going up onto the 3-hour mark. So if nobody has a question they want to ask, then we'll leave it there tonight or this morning and try and pick it up again at a later day. Is that all right, family? Yeah. Okay, Brother Kazan, that's appreciated. Shalom to you. Shalom to you. Spread life to all the families around you. Yeah, let's keep an eye on this World War 3 thing going on. Anyone comes up with new information and how developments are going, just post us in the inbox and let's have a look, family. Okay. All right. Shalom to all the family. I wish I could call out all your names right now. But we'll just have to say shalom Iye to you all. Yeah, share Iye to you all. Family right there. Okay. Shalom and Iye night to all of you. Whitney, thank you very much. Shalom, Iye night to you. Whitney, have you been in touch with Sister Dana yet? Whitney, have you been in touch with Sister Dana? Have you managed to get hold of her? Sister Dana, have you been in touch with Sister Whitney there? Qatari is true. I share to you. I share to you. Young Poddy, shalom to you. Shalom. Yeah. If you've been in touch with Sister Dana regarding the Africa projects, just email. I know Sister Dana put her email on the chat last night. But if you want to get in touch with her, just send your email to me and I'll be forwarding her email to you. So she'll be in touch with you about what we're trying to do to get ourselves back to Africa. All those of you who want to do that, who are looking how to do it, how to make it happen. All right. So you just inbox me and I'll send your details on to Sister Dana and she'll be in touch with you. Okay. So you'll be able to speak with her and get whatever message I'm relaying through her to you so that, we can plan together and look at things together, All right, family. Simon Yamor, shalom to you. Qatar is true, shalom. All of you family, shalom. Iye to you all. And we'll be seeing you soon again. All right, take care of yourselves and may Iye keep you safe and sound and healthy and wealthy even. Yeah, so I say shalom to your family. Shalom.